places in the world that feel cold and out of place. There are scenes that make you crumple into sand. There are things still left untold. Some things make you question grace, but don't you let them get life out of hand. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the lease. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. I can only see the now, and it makes me ask how come life never handed me a silver spoon. Truth is I never bowed, only gave to you my song. Yet you called me out and brought me in your room. In your house I find real peace. In your house I find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. It is a house not made with hands, not built or forged by man. It is simply only God and God alone. And He welcomes all who come with His arms so full of love. So come and let yourself be undone. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best.
What up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. Sorry I'm late. I had some stuff I needed to take care of, and it ran a little long. And yeah, so we're here now. It ran so long that I couldn't even comb my hair. I couldn't even comb my hair, man. Couldn't even comb my hair. It's a half day today. Anyhow, we're going to be talking about something that I think will be coming up more and more and more in the coming years. And people are probably not ready to have this conversation about what's coming. We want to get reprieve from it. We want people to do something about it instead of accepting that this is where we are. And this is a problem. And I see a problem with it. And maybe some others won't. But what happened with, and in case you haven't seen the video, we'll watch it. What happened with Don Lemon and him entering into this church to protest, it is a precursor of what's to come. And while they may do something legally about it, I want you to be assured of this. If you attend buildings of faith, this will become normal anymore. So you better prep yourself to not look to the government. You should be happy that they're doing it, and you should embrace it and continue to do what you're doing. I'll update you all on the doctor visit after the show. Anyway, take a look at this, and we'll see where this the conversation goes.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
But there were folks who will
that's what, I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom
Now,
to
if you watched, Don grabbed his hand, okay, to pull him back. He put his hands on the man first. Now watch this.
assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship
So he can touch him, but don't push him. Okay, got it.
Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding and
We're about
love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
No
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to
Unless you're here to
chronicle what
worship.
happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here.
No, you're a gay man. You're a homosexual. You're a packer of the fudge. No, you're not. You're not a Christian. So stop with the cap. You don't know God. You got nothing to do with God. You're a gay individual that acts like if you have something to offer human beings, and you don't. You're a worthless human being. You're shiftless, spineless, gutless, worthless, trifling, satanic, evil. All those terms apply to you, Don Lemon. Don't ever let the term "I'm a Christian" come out your mouth. You sleep with a man. You're married to one. You're in no position to say you know anything to do with God. Stop that cap right there. Let's just get that out in the open. No. Stop.
Well, we're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, you saw the video. You heard the comments made by Don. So what is this really about, really? Some people say it's about ICE and it's about this and it's about people getting freedom for free, eat them. It's more than that. It is way more than freedom of speech and violations of freedom of speech and all these things that we want to say. It's more than that. You were told specifically, okay, that you're going to end up being persecuted, killed, all of it. Revelation tells you that. Revelation says that you are going to be killed all day long, counted as sheep for the slaughter. You think someone walking into the building and cussing you out is something big? That's nothing big yet. That's nothing. That is small, tiny, compared to what's coming. This sifting of the wheat and tares is going to start happening real soon. Real soon. Like so soon? Man, what? Sooner than soon. Sooner than soon. And if you're not prepped for what is coming, you're going to end up getting upset for really no reason. Yes, that is true. That is very true. However, what the government chooses to do or chooses not to do doesn't really have an effect on how we interact with their actions. The law will protect when they are protecting. When it doesn't protect, it doesn't protect. But I don't think we should be looking to the law to protect us, because it's going to get eventually way worse to where the government itself is going to be okay with our death. There's a government coming, a one world government that will indeed oversee the destruction of things. That's what's going to happen. You know that's coming, right? You do understand that that's part and parcel of our fate. Why are we concerned about the fact that it's happening? We should be more happy that it's happening because, again, All the things that are happening are proving the word true. Anyone that tells you that the word can't be trusted, the Bible can't be trusted because it's been this and been that and been that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. But what's happening is an attack, and it's okay to have the attack happen. The iteration of it. But please remember that there is a form that has to be present. Listen, there are two ways I look at the current church. While there may not be the people that are saved, okay? There has to be a representation in the world of the said church in order for it to delude many. This is what you're seeing right now. There's a delusion of what the people consider the church, right? So we can agree on that. The same way that we have to have a representation of Israel on a political scale for there to be a treaty. The world will protect this version of the church to an extent. To an extent. And what you'll end up seeing is a deviation from the teachings of Christ to avoid persecution by these non-God churches. You will see this. You will see them start to kowtow to events like this and say, no, we're going to start preaching a social thing to include this one new religion that's going to take place. This has to happen. Again, it has to happen. However, the true followers will not kowtow and they will be perpetually attacked. And with the changing of the guard to where you have a church that conforms to the world, they will be left alone. And the ones that refuse to kowtow will be destroyed. They will be harmed. They will be killed all day long. Separation is happening. And it's happening quick and it's happening efficiently. The good thing about it is that it's happening. It's happening. You see, we look at this thing with Don and it's upsetting. 100% it's upsetting. No doubt. Because we understand that what they're really showing is that the devil himself is trying to make himself be seen. And he doesn't have to try very hard, but he's trying to do it in a place where he's always, for time immemorial, been excluded from. Not so much in the last 60, 70 years, but he's been excluded from the church for a long time. In this event, he's no longer being excluded. You're going to see more churches adopt this protesting kind of mindset, and they will welcome and do it on their own from the pulpit. Remember how you couldn't see the trans ideology and the homosexual ideology in churches? You wouldn't have never thought that would happen until certain so-called pastors started to preach about it and welcome it in. And now it's become part and parcel of the delivery of some churches. This will happen here too. It'll happen. This is how it's going to phases. Phases upon phases upon phases. It has to have its time frame scheduled. It's going to happen. Now, whether Don Lemon goes to jail or not, I don't know. He might. It depends on what kind of laws they're actually going to execute to bring him to justice. I don't know. By the book, by the law, the letter of the law, he violated it. And there is a punishment attached to it. Whether he'll actually get that punishment, I don't know. I think if he does get the punishment, it won't downplay things. It'll ramp things up. And the more it ramps up, the more you're going to see certain churches start to adopt, well, we need to listen to them and accept their way of thinking into the church in order to avoid being persecuted. If your plan is to run from persecution, something tell me you didn't read. Something tell me that you didn't read that their book and you thought that life in the Christian world was going to be easy. You thought life was going to be super simple and you was just going to get a whole bunch of stuff and God will go and give you things. That's not what this is going to be about. It's not. What is coming is not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the half committed. What is coming, whether it be in full or part to the body, is not for people who are weekend Christians. If you thought them barging in to just question you was big, wait till they bust in the doors and just kill you, and it becomes public knowledge that it's okay to do it. But why? Why would you need to lock the door? That's my question. Why lock the door? Why? I understand that, there's a protectionary measure that people want to take because it's kids and women involved and stuff like that. I hear you. But whatever happened to prepping this flock for the inevitability of the world ending us? That the world will hate us, not accept, not work alongside, hate. Did we miss that memo? Did we forget that he said we would be hated? If they hate him, they would hate us. Did we miss that? What are the results of hate? Are we trying to avoid hate? Don't try to avoid it. There is something coming, people, that there is no escape for. We're not getting away from this. We're simply not. That's his duty, to protect with all he can inside the church. He is preparing us for all situations. Okay. Preparing you for all situations. Okay. Well, I won't belabor that. That's a choice that they made, that y'all made. That's cool. That's a decision you make. I do want to say this. There is a level of trust that's required for us when it comes to the body. And it is a far cry from other things. Being persecuted for the name of Christ is a lot different than being attacked in your home and robbed of earthly goods. And if we were honest with ourselves, we would say that our level of trust, even with our earthly goods, is also lacking. I can say that for me. I do put a lofty value on my earthly things, possibly too lofty. But we are talking about something far more critical, mission critical, when it comes to prophecy about our end. There is a major difference. There is nothing we can do to avoid what's coming. You can delay, you can possibly extend some time, but there is no escape. There's no escape. The church will be attacked. It'll be descended upon. It will be a situation where we are indeed removed from this mortal plane because we follow God. Whether it be us now or it be our family in the future. This is not the same as house security. It was not predicted that my house was going to be robbed, but it is definitely predicted that we will be killed all day long. It is told that that is what's coming to true believers, that we will be hated, our lives will be ended. That's what's been told to us. Seeking the defense of that, of the government, it's kind of defeating the purpose of the prophecy. Now, if you're not ready for it, then that's one thing. That's understandable because we're all not at the same level of committed faith yet. There are some people who are ready tomorrow to die, today to die. I can't say that's the case for everybody. Not saying you're not saved because you're not ready, but you should be. Your goal should be to be as ready as possible. As ready as possible. Did I say I know? See how you took offense so quickly? Why would you take offense to something I'm saying that had nothing to do with whether or not I think you're prepared or not? Why would you take offense? You have no idea what we are preparing for, regardless of where we are, imprisonment or death, we are aware of. Where did I attack you on anything that you believe? Why would you take offense to something I'm saying when it has everything to do with what the word says to be prepared for? Where is your level of offense coming from? What did I say that was so offensive that you would have to jump on your high horse to say, I have no idea? I don't care if I have an idea what you're prepping for. I told you I'd leave it alone. I don't care what you do. Nobody cares what y'all do. Do what you got to do. That's on you guys. You said you trust your pastor, trust your pastor. That's okay. I didn't say anything wrong with that. I'm telling you, it won't make a difference. It won't make a difference. It's coming. It is coming. No amount of locked doors, no amount of procedures, nothing. I don't know how else to break this to people. This is something that we were told throughout the entirety of the word. That there will be coming a time at the end of time where we are going to be pushed in faith to die for the cause of Christ. Not to fight death, but to die. To embrace it. To know that we are going to die for the cause of Christ and to be with him is better than life. The question is, are you ready? for that, to the point where you don't fight it. Don't fight it. This incident has brought one thing to light, and this is the best thing it had brought to light. It brought to light the true representation of where the world sees, whether it be the fake, the real, just the term church. If you listen carefully to what he said, I'll let you play it. I'll play it again so you hear him what he says, right? Because he says something of import that I think we need to hear as to what he considers the church. Listen to it.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will.
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
We're about
and
worship.
love these folks?
We're about
You hear it? Did you hear it? Did you catch it? Don't you think that Jesus would be caring and understanding of these folks? Where do you think he got that concept from? Where do you think he got the idea that somehow Jesus is supposed to accept people who don't accept him? Hmm? Where did he get that concept from? You see, because for a while now, there's been no requirement for holiness to come to God. There's nothing of that. In fact, there's no holiness requirement after you supposedly catch with God. There's nothing. It's as you are and stay that way. And this is going to be the new move that they're going to do. The change. They don't have that. None. Because there's none required. There's no more holiness required. Armored, listen. You were the first to become offended by something that was said. Not us. You were. It was about your pastor. And you got upset. Nobody in the room hates you. In fact, you said you were leaving because people are reading the word of God somewhere else. You're out. That's what you said. No one here asked you to leave. Not a soul in the comment section asked you to leave. You decided that you didn't want to be here anymore. Where is the hate that you say people are putting on you? Who's hating you right now? I'm already hated and was sent to court for following Jesus. What shift are you talking about? Nobody here hates you. But you took offense where there was no offense to be taken. That's the problem. But if you want to be, then be offended. Be upset, be mad, all of that. We can't stop you from that. We can't. We can't fix that. Armor, this is what you said. I'm going to read your comment again. This is what you said. Did you not? The change on me is very telling. You love me, and now this. What's that supposed to mean? Explain your statement. Explain your statement if I'm reading this. And I want you to read your own statement. Read your own statement, and then tell me how I'm supposed to read your statement. I will give you time to flesh that out. Read your statement that you made, and then tell us how we are supposed to take that statement. I don't see the world mentioned there at all. I don't see the world mentioned at all. You said you were talking about the world. Where? Do you see how effective communication can be and how ineffective communication can be? Where did you mention the world? So I'll tell you what, clarify what you mean by this message. Just clarify what you mean by the message. That's all. I get that you're a young believer. That's what you said. And I don't know what you've been told, what you've been listening to, and I don't know what your philosophy and your belief structure is with God. I have no idea. I don't. But you did initially get offended at the idea that I said, why lock the doors? And you reference the house, a normal house. And I told you the house didn't get predicted to be broken into, but the church did get predicted to be killed off. It's predicted for us. It is meant for us to die. It isn't always meant for my house to be broken into. It's expected of evil of the world, yeah. But the church is a whole different dynamic altogether. This is we're talking about something that doesn't belong to us. The body is his. I'm just trying to help you out with something. The same excuse was made during COVID. Listen to me carefully. The same excuse was made during COVID. We're staying open, but we're going to conform. It was a test then, it's a test now. I don't want to lose this, so we're going to conform by keeping us masked, and we're going to set the chairs 6 feet apart, but we're going to stay open. The small things that we don't trust God with are going to get tested starting already. Starting already. This idea that we have that church is supposed to be safe because the government said so is not what the word said. It's not. It says to render to Caesar what is Caesar's when it comes to taxes and payments and all that stuff. But please don't ever get it twisted that we think somehow that you're going to get away from what's coming. It's some crazy stuff coming, people. Crazy stuff. And to try and escape it. Hear me out. Suppose, okay, you lock the doors. You lock the doors. And there's somebody that's wanting to get in. What do you do then? You've locked your doors to the world, right? You've locked it. What now? I understand that the safety and all that is, look, I get it. I do. I absolutely do. That you want to protect, you want to stop people from messing, but you want all that. I get it. I fully understand. But what was the requirement given to us? The disciples and the prophets of old were notorious for having their lives taken from them. They were notorious for that. I want you to listen to this real quick. Okay? We're going to go to Matthew real quick. And I want you to just listen carefully to this, okay? Matthew 16. When Jesus came into the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" So they said, "Some say John the Baptist, some Elijah, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." And he said to them, "But who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered and said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus answered and said to him, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, the rock of his confession," not Peter being a rock. "And the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he commanded his disciples that they should tell no one that he was Jesus the Christ. From that time, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised on the third day. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, "Far be it from you, Lord, that this should happen to you." But he turned to Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan, you are an offense to me, for you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit is it a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man will come in the glory of his Father with angels, and then he will reward each according to his works." Listen carefully. the protection and the want to protect and the need to protect. It is great. I understand. But he didn't call you to protect yourself for his cause. He didn't. He called you to give up your life for his cause. And it called it blessed. He called it blessed. Hence why I had trepidation about you saying, protect. The protections that need to be given is the prepping of the saints for what's coming. It is to prep you for what's coming. Not to prep you to avoid it, to delay it. The protections that a pastor has is to keep the false teachers away from the flock. That's their protection. The protection that a pastor is supposed to have over his flock is to keep the evil, idolatrous people away from the flock, not to keep them from death. That's not what he kept. That's not what his job is. His protection is over the word. His protection is over the ears of his flock. The protection is to make sure that they are coated, ready. And what you're supposed to be getting ready for is your exit. Point blank, period. I am glad that what is taking place and this beginning is happening. I am, and I'm stoked about it. Why? For two reasons. I am stoked that we are seeing this level of attack coming on the church. Why? Because this will show who are really ready and who are not. This will show who's really ready and who are not. The preparation that we're supposed to have is a preparation to be killed for the sake of Christ, to be persecuted for the sake of Christ. So we should welcome them to persecute us. If they're coming to persecute you, it must mean they see something that you're doing they don't like. Hear me out. Locking your doors and trying to protect your physical form from their attacks, in a way, does show fear. It does. It does show fear. And they can know that you're afraid. But if your father told you that they're supposed to, and that you will be put to death, why are we putting a barrier between it? Why are we trying to stave it off? Because we're afraid. And he didn't give you a spirit of fear. He didn't. He didn't give you a spirit of fear. He gave you a spirit of power. Not everybody's going to make it out of this. Not everybody's going to make it out of this. And what I mean by that, there are some that say they're of Christ, but really it's just a use of his name. Just a use of his name. Again, I think you fail to listen. No one is attacking you. You brought up the fact that your church, your pastor, will be locking doors but still having service. I never questioned your ability to want to die for Christ. I said about your pastor and the church's approach, not you. Which is why I said, why were you so offended by my statement? That was my initial question to you. Why were you so offended? Why was there offense in you when I never addressed you directly? Never said that you were not willing to die. You. I questioned your pastor. That's it. I questioned the method of locking the doors, not you and your willingness to die. You took offense on behalf of somebody that isn't you. And I asked you why you took offense. You never answered me. Why did you take offense? Can you answer me that? Why did you take offense when I never directed my statements to you personally? Why did you personally take offense to that? Please tell me. I just want to know, if you don't mind. I'll wait to get your answer. I'm not going to go much further. C-Star, yes, he was. It was a great defense to say that they're here worshiping God. But I think his better response would have just gone to continue. So let me get this right. You decide to take offense and put it on us as though we offended you on behalf of somebody that's not here to defend themselves over something that the Bible already predicted was going to happen that we can't stop. I want to make sure I get that right. You took offense over our statement that there is no need to protect yourself when God told you this was coming on behalf of someone else that isn't here. And then you decided to put that offense on everybody here as though we offended you personally. To the point where you say you don't understand what's happening. Let's put it like this. Do you remember when Peter and Jesus, I never wanted my comment on screen. Well, you don't get to decide whether or not your comment is on screen or not. That's not something you can dictate. Okay, that's first. So if you can't just pick and choose when your comment gets put on, pick and choose your comments more carefully so that they don't get put on screen. If that's you don't want them put on screen. But here's what, I'll make you a deal right here and now. I will never put your comments on screen again. I make this vow to you to never put your comments on screen again. It will never happen. Trust me, never. That will never, ever, ever happen again. Okay. You have my word. But when Peter was with Christ, there was an event that took place. There was an odd event that took place. And I want to read this event real quick, because I think this event is almost identical to where we are. Jesus told his disciples that he was going to die. Okay? He was going to die. He told them this. It was supposed to happen. He told them unequivocally this was going to happen. So we get to a part in the book of Luke. Okay, Luke 22. And we go down to verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you that he may sift you as wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith should not fail, and when you have returned to me, strengthen your brethren. But he said to him, Lord, I'm ready to go with you both to prison and to death. And he said, I tell you, Peter, the rooster shall not crow this day before you will deny me 3 times. And he said to them, when I sent you with money bag, knapsack, and sandals, did you lack anything? They said, nothing. Then he said to them, but now he who has the money bag, let him take it, and likewise a knapsack, and he who has no sword, let him sell his garment one by one. For I say that this is what was written must still be accomplished in me. And he was numbered with the transgressors, and the things concerning me have an end. So they said, look, Lord, here are 2 swords. And he said with them, it is enough. Coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives, and he was accustomed, and his disciples also followed him. When he came to the place, he had said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. When he had withdrawn from them about the stone's throw, and he knelt down and prayed, saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him, and being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling onto the floor. When he rose up from prayer and he had come to his disciples, he found them sleeping from sorrow. And he said to them, why do you sleep? Rise, pray, lest you enter into temptation. Please keep that second rephrasing of that again. And while he was still speaking, behold, a multitude. And he who was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them and drew near to Jesus and kissed him. But Jesus said to him, Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss? When those around him saw what was happening, they said to him, Lord, shall we strike with the sword? And one of them struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. Now, please remember, the question was asked, and Peter never waited for the answer. Never did. And Jesus said, permit even this, and he touched his ear and healed him. And Jesus said to the priests, captains of the temple, and the elders who had come to him, have you come out against as against a robber with swords and clubs? When I was with you daily in the temple, you did not try to seize me, but this is your hour and the power of darkness. You see, the inevitability of things ought not to be tried to be stopped. No need to try and stop it. It still happened. Cutting off of the ear, the bringing of the swords, didn't stop it. But we have hindsight of watching these lessons being taught to us, being told that our end is coming. They hated him, they will hate you. They killed me, they will kill you. They persecuted me, they will persecute you. Us trying to avoid, delay, all of it, pointless. What we ought to be prepping the flock for is the embracing of exactly that. The rage of the world, the anger of the world, all of it. The attacks, the murder, all of it. In fact, I think we should be absolutely gloriously happy about it. So I'm kind of happy that Don did that. Just to get us ready for this. If there's still a fear that you have to protect something, then so be it. So be it. So be it. But let's get this one thing out the way and straight. The wheat and the tares are together right now. And the tares are going to behave like wheat to keep the wheat from wheating, germinating, to try to anyway. And you'll see them try their best to make wheat become tares. Wheat can't become tares. Wheat can only die and be used. That's all. The wheat can only die and be used. The tare is just burned. That's it. Just chaff. It ripped up and burned. That's all the tares are going to be used for. Wheat, however, has purpose. Tares don't like, but they try to look like it. They try to act like it. They pretend to be it, but they're not it. It is okay to embrace what's coming, people, because it proves God's word true. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Run to it. Welcome it. Tell them, bring it on. Encourage them to do what their master has encouraged them to do. And then maybe in your expiration, there might be a few that see it and realize their faith was genuine. What gave them that faith? You might be a germination testimony. You might be a germination testimony. It might be in your death that souls are won. But it also could be that in your fear of death or your attempt to delay it, you could also lose souls. Just a thought. Just a thought. I'm not sure if I'll be on tomorrow. I have things I need to get done to get ready for this move, but it's the pain has also been a lot lately. So my update on the my back. I met with my doctor Monday, and he says we'll have to wait until after my surgery with my neck to check and see if the lower portion of my body is having its own issues that's amplifying, or if it's because of the neck that's causing all the issues. But it's painful. I'm not gonna lie. It's tiring. Um, it's wearing me out big time. I can admit that to you. Um, so I'm half hoping that really this surgery will help. Um, but it's a lot. The body is just not responding well to, and I've dealt with pain a lot, like all my life. I kind of since my first injury, I've dealt with a lot of pain, but this is ridiculously. This is different. It's a different level. Um, I can't rest enough. Even when I lie down, it doesn't feel comfortable. Um, no real position helps with anything. Um, it's just annoyingly horrible. I hate it. Hate, hate, hate. Um, it messes with your mind too. Mentally, bruh, it is draining. Like your brain don't function right when you're in this much pain. It don't. But I'm also not blaming God for it either. So I just want people to know I'm not like losing faith because of it or anything like that. I just understand that this body is not built to live forever. It's not built to last forever. Okay? Just like with anything else, it's built in obsolescence. Um, no extra pillow. I do have. Arlene did send me one of those neck pillows things, and that helped a lot initially. But it's like I said, the bone itself in that region is deteriorating. It's not like I can. That's why it's more than likely going to end up being a fusion issue. So, um, yeah, that's the update. So they're not going to touch the lower portion until they figure out whether or not it goes away or is helped by the fixing of this. And oh, I don't think I make it past 2. I don't. I don't think I sleep more than 2 hours straight. I don't think that's ever happened to me since my fall, ever. It may have happened once if I'm really, really, really medicated. if I'm medicated, it'll do it. But if I'm not medicated, I don't think I make 2 hours. I might make 2 hours. I don't think I make 2 hours. REM sleep, it's rare. So no, 2 hours. That's good. If I'd be lucky. I don't rest well. I don't rest well. I get up tired and I go to bed tired. I get up tired and I go to bed tired. So, but when I'm up, I'm up. You know. Yep, I do all the above. It's all rinse, rinse and repeat. Don't forget, I've had 6 surgeries already. So this will be number 7. And then they still have my wrist and my elbow to do on my left arm, which would make it 9. So by the time it's all said and done, it might be 10 surgeries that I'll be through already before I'm 55. 10 surgeries is a lot. That's a lot of cutting. It's a lot of knives and a lot of needles. So um a fall, a fall. I had a fall, a bad fall, a very bad fall. Um I fell 15 feet square onto my coccyx bone. Um, my head hit freshly dried concrete. Had only been set about a day earlier, and my hard hat went one way and I went the other, and it smacked about 3 times. I had a concussion that caused short-term memory loss. I still suffer with that, which is why it's a miracle that I can do what I'm doing here. But I attribute all of it obviously to God. So I fell to 15 feet, landed square in my tailpipe, compressed the entire spine, and ended up with a crick in my neck because the whole neck snapped. So I came that close to death because if I had fallen even a foot further, I would have been impaled through the back of the head with some rebar. The rebar that was in a pile to the side had one piece sticking out, and so if I had only bounced just a little bit more, that would have been it. It would have been through my head, and that would have been it for me. So that was a miracle. But I laid there for about a minute trying to catch myself, but I couldn't feel my legs from my waist down. So I radioed my buddy who was on the other end, and he said, well, you need help up. So he came over, he helped me up. And I couldn't feel my feet. I knew I was walking, but I couldn't feel it. So I drove myself home, smart guy. But I could only see 3 colors at the time: bright yellow, bright green, and bright blue. Everything looked like Minecraft. Called my doctor and said, hey, I need to be, and he's seen me to my chiropractor, saw me the next day to try and fix my neck. He did some x-rays and found like, yep, the entire spine is compressed. And he says, I'm surprised you didn't break your tailbone, but it's just bruised. It's not busted. So, but a couple of spots in there where it got, coccyx, COCCYX. So I've been recovering from that a long time now. Before that, I had shoulder surgery from football, and then I had this shoulder torn too, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But that fall is what really put me out of commission permanently. So it hurt. It hurt a lot. So it's been testing. But I try not to forsake doing the program simply because it is something that he's asked me to do. So I try not to, but some days it's a little difficult to get up and do it. But I will try and be on tomorrow. Try. Depending on how I wake up. Say. I appreciate all you guys. I do appreciate your prayers. Lori, I saw your statement. I appreciate it. But I keep telling people I'm also okay if this is what I have to deal with. I'm okay with it. Yes, it hurts. But he gave me a full 2 years of reprieve from it, people. Like, it was big for me. I got big old reprieve from it where I didn't feel a thing for a long time. And now the pain's back. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because it'll either pass or it'll stay. But he doesn't leave. He doesn't leave. Know what I'm saying? He doesn't. And if I have to do this on my phone, do a live with myself lying on my back and, prop the phone somehow to do the live, I'll do that after surgery too. If I can find a way to do it, I'm going to do it. Just put it like that. If I have to find a way, I'll find a way. Anyway. To Armored, email me. Okay. I told you I wasn't going to bring your comment up, and I'm not going to do that. So please, if you have questions or you want to clarify anything, there's more characters you can put in the email. Feel free to email me. And we'll have our own discussion offline. Make sure you log that down. Scrolling at the bottom now is a location for if you want to help, don't want to help, whatever it is, there's an option there to assist and stuff. If not, that is not a requirement, just an option for people. But God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to go get stuff ready for our move. I have a process I'm going to do today, but I'll only do as much as I can do because I know how difficult it is already. So we'll vibe with you guys in the morning, God willing. Go check out the video we did last night on both sides. I think it's a good one. It's a live we did. Go check it out. But we'll talk then. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. So please, please, please find wisdom.
There are places in the world that feel cold and out of place. There are scenes that make you crumple into sand. There are things still left untold. Some things make you question grace. But don't you let them get life out of hand. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. I can only see the now, and it makes me ask how come life never handed me a silver spoon. Truth is I never bowed, only gave to you my song. Yet you called me out and brought me in your room. In your house I find real peace. In your house I find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. It is a house not made with hands, not built or forged by man. It is simply only God and God alone. And He welcomes all who come with His arms so full of love. So come and let yourself be undone. In your house I find real peace.